Okay, so back to no camera for this one because I was getting ready for bed and I was watching a video and it was a Catholic exorcist talking about the time he's been scared in his career. So now we're gonna talk about fighting demons and basically why that Catholic priest is interesting. He said interesting things. Basically, from what he said, what he believes is that Jesus controls them demons, and if I believe in Jesus, they can't touch me. This is sort of true ish. And I think what's happened here is that the Catholic Church miseducates their people on purpose. Here's what I believe. Yes, it is his faith in Jesus that is keeping him safe. Because in his mind, that's what he calls God. Okay. In reality, Tolkien calls this creative force in the universe that I like Ilia Luvatar, the creator of all things, capital G God. Okay. That is what protects you from demons. The spark of life that you have within you is a bit of the creator. And no demon can fucking fight that. You just have to know that you have it in you. And then you bring it to bear and squash them with it. And what kills me is this Catholic priest says the thing that scared him initial first day job jitters, right? Like anybody, he said. And then the second thing was years into doing it, I asked God to punish a demon in my head while I was looking at a guy, and I saw in his face what God did to him. I saw into hell, and it scared me. Okay, so what you were seeing there, that wasn't hell. That wasn't God. What was that? What was that he did? He pulled the demon by the balls and told him that he was in charge of it, and then he sent it into hell. A hell of his own making, and then he pulled it back out and gave it a choice between going back down to hell or leaving. That's what happened. And the thing that he saw in that face, that was his own hell. Like, that was the hell of his own making that he sent that thing to. It was bad. All the heavens and all the hells are within you. What does that mean? If you've watched, what the fuck was that movie called? The Benghazi movie, 13 Hours. If you watch 13 Hours, you heard that quote. It's from Joseph Campbell. Good quote. Basically, what that means is there is no heaven, there is no hell. There is you. You can choose to be in hell or be in heaven depending on who you are, right? And that's in life and whatever. Now, in reality, is there a heaven or is there a hell? Here's what I'm gonna tell you. I think there are various different things that can happen to you when you die. But I think for the vast majority of souls, the thing that happens is that you go again. I think it never stops. I think that's the beauty of it. I don't know exactly what our purpose is here, but I think basically the universe is vast and you come back maybe as a human here on Earth, maybe as some fucking Jar Jar Binks looking thing on some other planet for all I know. You collect experiences. It's what this whole thing is about. Okay. Believe it or not, I don't fear demons at all. Demons are scared the fuck out of me. And that's because, like, you look at me and you think, oh, obviously not very close with God, right? To be honest, no, I have a different relationship with God than any of you could possibly imagine. And when it comes to demons, why would you fear something that you squish like bugs? Jolly green giants walking the earth in fucking armor compared to them. All of you are. Like, this is the thing, is people that deal with demons, like, they're just little pieces of shit, really. I think part of what makes me unique is I have demons in me. Basically, I collect lost and broken things and I fix them. Even demons. It's my nature. I can't help it. I fix things. Some of them are, very broken. And like those are the ones that need help more than anything. Just because you don't understand what they are doesn't mean that they're scary. Mostly what you think of as demons are like lost and broken children, essentially. They're some sort of extra dimensional being of some sort. I don't really know. You kill the ones that you don't like, and you keep the ones you like. That's my thoughts anyway. And maybe that's why I feel like I walk closely with God. It's because I might have demons, but I'm sitting in the dark talking to them, and I shine more brightly than anything you've ever seen. And so could you. Like, that fucking Catholic priest manages to be good at exorcisms despite not even remotely having a clue about the nature of the universe, really. And like, he and I would have an interesting debate, I can guarantee you that. But my opinions on why I believe what I believe are founded in 32 fucking years of research into the subject, mixed with gut feeling and instinct, mixed with just observations. And honestly, for study into what to believe, I like Tolkien. And I like C.S. Lewis. And I like to read what they have to say about most things. I don't believe those people, heart and soul. Like, obviously, I'm saying different shit than them. But Tolkien and I would have a fascinating conversation. Church, what are you doing? I like Tolkien's thing because basically, I think that the Silmarillion is his pitch at basically what the Bible should have been. This is what actually happened, more or less. And like in his version of it, there's a lot of, well, and then the gods did this. I don't know what that represents. I would love to talk to Tolkien about what that represents. Because, like, from what I've been gathering of world history, there are many forces on this planet. Some of them are good, some of them have evil, some of them are evil. Some of them have pretended to be gods. Some of them might be God. Some of them might be the devil. But there's been at least 3 or 4 different entities roaming around on the earth that I know of that like pretend to be a god of some sort. Mixed in with that, you have the fact that like the Greek pantheon of gods and the whole idea of gods on Mount Olympus, I think that and the watchers on the mountain in the book of Enoch are one and the same. And I think that shit happened. I don't know all the details of that shit, and I'm not exactly sure, you know, the what fors or whys of it, but those are the same stories or whatever, just told 1,000 different ways, 1,000 different times by 1,000 different people, so they end up different. And I guarantee you that some of the demons that we currently fight are some of these things. Interdimensional beings. I find King Solomon fascinating. King Solomon, I think, essentially saw much of what I see and saw demons for what they were and had free range and control over them, much as I do, because he wasn't afraid of them at all. That's my key and secret to most of this. Like, what keeps me free of demons? It's the fact that I'm worse than any of the demons, basically. Satan, nice to meet you. That's why they fear me. If I'm not Satan, I'm his favorite son. This is why all demons should fear me. I'm kind of not joking in a certain way. Like, I think, in a way, like every soul that comes here has been somewhere before, and I think, like, this is my chance to redeem myself, basically. That's half of why I spit out the message that I do, which is some mix of people should be free, people should be good, and if the government is bad, then fuck them. And if the government is bad and they're just gonna not fucking ever do anything, like I don't understand. Like where I'm at now is there's a whole lot of talk about you fucking rounding us up into camps and shit. Whole lot of talk about killing Republicans. Mighty bold talk for an old fat man. What terrifies me is some of our politicians, they aren't me. They have no idea about any of this shit. They don't even know that they're under the control or influence of a demon. Go watch Big Trouble in Little China. The evil sorcerer or whatever in that, I forget his name. Lopan or something like that. Everything he says about his demon, you should listen to all of that. It's a lot of real deal shit from Chinese black magic, which I'm not saying I believe in all that shit either. I'm not saying I believe in all the Bible shit either. What I'm saying is 0.5% of all this shit's true. And if 0.5% of any of the shit that I've ever been talking about on here about demons is true, it's a pressing concern. Um, you know, I think one of my main problems in life is basically that I like to go down and pet the demons. Imagine, if you will, like when you went to hell, there were 1,000 like Balrogs, and they were all 6 inches high, and they all were running at you and going, "Papa!" Wouldn't that be awesome? See, that's what hell is like. That's what I'm telling you. I guess not for you, for some of us. I really like my views on a lot of things are basically that most of what you've ever been told is a lie, and that most of the old bullshit in books probably happened to some degree, somehow, changed a little bit, but like I think there's significant evidence that there used to be a very advanced civilization on Earth and that it kind of got wiped out whenever the Ice Age ended for one reason or another. I'm not sure why. There is a huge effort on the part of the United States federal government to cover up anything involving anything about that, or anything involving the questioning of what happened before, you know, 5,000 years ago, anywhere really, but in North America and Egypt in particular. Like, I honestly wonder if there wasn't a very advanced, large civilization here in America that literally like got slid off into the ocean. Some shit. I don't know. The thing that I see, follow me, when I see the world is, where did civilization start? What do you mean by civilization? I mean our modern, like, where did the Bronze Age and Iron Age start? Why do you say that? Well, the Americas, when the Spaniards and the British and the French got here, do you know what metal age they were in? They weren't in a metal age. They were in the Stone Age. They were still using obsidian, and the only metals that they had were like silver and gold. No one had any fucking metal here. Let's sink in. People had metal in the Middle East, like bronze, thousands of years. Okay, why is this? I would like a decent explanation for why this is, given things that I've seen of all of this. Basically, it's like there's a giant technological black hole in North America that it seems like nothing ever happened here. And I think that's a bunch of bullshit. What did they cover up? Like I have seen shit myself that makes me believe that they found something in the Grand Canyon that is insane. Like, when I say insane, I mean like something like it was like a cave of artifacts that included shit from like Nepal and Egypt, and it was like 10,000 years old, like a treasure vault. That's what I heard they found. And the Aztecs said that they came from the seven caves of Chiquimostoc. The place that they found with the treasure vault, at least supposedly, sounds a lot like that to me, because it was supposed to be a collection of big caves underground where they hid from some apocalypse or something with the gods, and the gods brought them out and, told them where to go and brought them to the holy city of Teotihuacan. And there they were. Like, I don't know. I find all of this interesting though, and I think it's very interesting that the Catholic exorcist believes that his belief in Jesus is what keeps him safe, which technically yes, but also very incorrect about the details of it. It's like your faith in the creative force of the universe that flows through you, really. It's the fact that you have the divine spark of the creator. I really fully believe that, and it's one of those things that, like, knowledge is power, very much so. Like, the word wizard, do you know what it means? Comes from the word vizier, which comes from the word advisor, which basically means wise man. Wizard and wise man are one and the same. Wizard's just a dude that knows shit. That's, you know, my goal basically is I suck at various things. I'm really good at shooting a rifle and I'm really good at making tools, you know. The various other things I'm really good at are this kind of stuff. It's thinking and what like the value that I see that I could have in like the end of the world or the situation that we're currently going through is basically that if I think about it and record it for you to listen to in a short amount of time, if I can communicate it in an effective way, I don't know. Maybe it'd be useful to someone. And at this point, it seems like the world is headed to a place where, like, if you aren't useful for something, you're gonna get dead. That's sad. It's kind of like the demons. I was saying I kind of take pity on them. Like, I think every living thing deserves love and life and happiness. Even demons. Even fucking Joe Biden, really. I don't really want to fight anyone. I think that's been my thing my entire life is basically I got to be this way because I was the person that always just walked away and was always the person that whoever it was didn't leave alone when they walked away. They kept pushing it and they kept pushing it until, it's one of those things like watching a fucking ant attack a grizzly bear is an interesting thing. It's only a matter of time until the ant dies. That was much with me and my friends in like high school and whatever. Like, I didn't engage with them most of the time because they can't handle this. Like, I was like this at 4 or before. Like, that's the thing my grandfather loved is literally he'd take me to fucking things where he was hanging out with people or whatever, like gun shows or, wherever. And they'd be talking about something, and then I would add to the conversation, and like it would be something crazy. Like, how old is that kid? Oh, he's 4. And he's talking about politics. Yeah, he does that. What are his politics? And then my grandfather would tell them, like, interesting. Okay. When did he get that? Like, came out with it. Interesting. Like, this was where my grandfather was just like, he said, you know, chip off the old block, basically. Like, apparently it's genetic, which I really believe that. My brother is a half brother who was raised by another family because my mother gave him up for adoption. They didn't own guns. They were Catholic, and yeah, nothing like us at all. My brother ended up a Jew who was a master chief in the Navy. And it's one of those things that, like, my grandfather and I, when we met him, were very much like it's genetic. I think to some extent, some of your demons might be genetic too. Like, I think in reality, some demons might be some interdimensional force or whatever, and some of them might be like your ancestors, like in your DNA or some shit somehow. Like, I really think in your DNA, many past versions of you live. Okay, including in your bloodline. I mean, little bits of them, and I think that's partially what forms your consciousness. And that's why, like, people are kind of like their parents and shit. Like, you know, the thing that makes me think this is you can take a fucking rat and you can raise him all alone in little rat land. Only thing he ever sees is you and maybe a couple other people, and he thinks he's a person or whatever. You show him a picture of like a falcon or something flying in the sky, and he'll run from it. And he won't run from it like if you show him a picture of a cat, he runs different. Why? How does that mouse know that shit? He wasn't out in the wild. He didn't see that shit. Some sort of like, I think it's a mix between a genetic memory and a Akashic record. If you know what that is, it's like an idea that basically, if you meditate, there's a giant library in the universe, and you can just go find shit out. It's somewhat true. It's not exactly like they make it out to be. For me personally, the way that I access the Akashic record usually is uh, by getting really fucked up and doing art and recording what I'm talking about and shit. Like on here, not all of what I record ever gets put out. Quite a bit of it does, more than should. But a lot of times I'll just fucking turn that shit on and start recording for my own benefit, basically, because while smoking and painting, I'll have much better ideas than when I'm not smoking and not painting. And I mean, like, creative ideas, projecting ideas, all sorts of other stuff. I love the stuff that I create from this. Nothing matches that high. It doesn't feel like it's you. It feels like it comes from the ether. It's like if I had a god, it's that. It's, doing art. I think honestly, it's one of those things that God wants you to make and create and do art and sing and all of these things. It's one of those things that, like, I even think knife making, I think God likes knives. Sorry, my ear is so fucked up. I don't know what I'm gonna do about that. I really need to go to the doctor. Also, fucking broke, and also don't like doctors, so it's kind of double-edged sword. I have money, I could go do it. That's not the issue. It's more or less just that I hate fucking doctors. Oh, and it's one of those. The pain has to equal the pain of going to see them. Well, I'm gonna cut this one off here. I don't really know what this is about. It kind of went all over the place, and I'm kind of fucked up. And it's three. No, it's 4 o'clock in the morning now. But I had that thought about fighting demons and wanted to share. I don't know if this is gonna go live or not. I'm tired. I'm tired of the world. It seems like no one wants it to continue. Go make the world a better place.